Boing.
Hey.
What's going on, Rick?
Everything good, big dog. We're back.
Here. Yes, sir.
We're
Another
back.
week with the Roundtable Show.
Yes.
You might notice, again, we're missing somebody.
Are we short?
Yeah, we're
literally short.
Yeah, I am short.
No.
But as you can see, we've kind of slid a little. We're missing somebody. I think our beloved Aaron.
Yes.
The voice is back east visiting family.
Yeah, the voice said, "Man, you guys got to free will it yourself, man. Without him,
well,
we miss him for sure.
I think we're going to be okay though. We have tons of topics.
Yeah,
tons of crap's
a
been
plethora of
a plethora. Is that how you say it?
Plethora.
I love that word. I love saying
yeah.
plethora.
I hope he's listening and he likes what we're saying.
And
well,
don't confuse that with placenta.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I don't think we'll do that.
I heard people eat placentas. I've heard that before.
Or they use it, man, for Botox, this type of stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they can do that. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Roundtable. Our great Denver Bronco standout, former Denver Bronco, Rick Upchurch.
Hey, how you doing, folks?
And
glad to see you.
George the Mouth Miklos. We're here. We're just going to hang out and talk about stuff. We got all kinds of stuff going. Which one do you want to choose to start it all off?
Well, I think it's a happy day. It's a happy day for the culinary folks here in Las Vegas. Tentatively, man, they've come to an agreement as far as getting them back to work, making sure that their retirement is nice, that they're going to get a nice raise after so many years of not getting a raise.
They say it's one of the biggest raises ever in the history.
And good for them, look, we understand and know that these folks, man, who own these casinos and all of these places, that they were going to come to the table and be reasonable, because I don't think any of them will go into the kitchen and start cooking bacon and steaks and potatoes and all of those type of things to serve the people in their
Can you imagine
venues.
Suit and tie executive of the CEO of Caesars in the kitchen? Hey, give me some more. Oh, man. You need to start dropping stuff and everything. But can you imagine F1? That race is next week.
Yeah, that's next week.
35,000 culinary union workers were going to strike tomorrow morning.
Right, absolutely. And so that's a good thing. I'm glad that they've come to an agreement, George. I'm glad that these folks are getting ready to get the type of pay that they deserve, and their retirement, their benefits are going to be improved because they deserve it. I think they work harder than anyone in this town to make sure that these casinos and these other places, man, have good food and they have great service.
That's hospitality for you. Can you imagine if they had gone on strike, though? I had already had my plans made out. Man, I'm going to get a job bartending. As soon as they go on strike, I'm going to bounce down to Caesar's Palace and walk in there. You need a bartender right now. Let's go. Can you imagine what would they have done, really? I mean, if you really think about it, you don't have that many CEOs in a company to fill 5,000 employees' positions in a hotel.
No, not at all.
I wonder what they would have done.
Well, they would come looking for us. That's for sure.
Right.
Hey, let's get those guys on the Roundtable Show. They look like they might be able to cook. George, you look well fed. I mean, I'm pretty.
What does
thin.
that mean when somebody says you look well fed?
That just means you got good food on the table.
I'm a fat motherfucker.
I know you got good food on the table.
I do.
That's what I'm talking about. Your wife is a good cooker.
She is.
Yeah.
She's a cooker.
Yeah.
And I learned how to do it too over the years, being in the restaurant business too over the years.
Yeah,
so I'm well fed.
So I'm happy. I'm happy for those folks. And then out in California, the actors, they finally got themselves together as well. After 40 years of not ever getting a raise, they finally got a raise. And they said it's substantial. They said it's one, man, that they really, really like, and it's going to benefit them not just now, but down the road.
Right.
And good for them.
For every facet, background actors, they're going to get more money on the background side, and a lot of these agencies will be able to attract more actors and actresses to come to work because there'll be more incentive now to do it.
Absolutely. And you say to yourself, what took so long? Why are the owners or the folks that run these corporations, man, why are they so reluctant to make sure that their people are taken care of? They're the ones that make them multimillionaires and billionaires. That, to me, I just don't understand it. It's just pure greed, I think.
Well, so of course it is. That's what like you're saying. The casino owners, these movie studios. Come on, shell out money, man. You guys are making money, and the actors should, rightfully so. You know, when we hear the regular Joe here, well, Tom Hanks gets 20 million a movie. If they understood that these movies cost 150 to 200 million dollars now,
Right.
and 20 million is just a slice of the pie for them, because
Right.
now they have not just the movies, but they got video,
Right.
the streaming,
Streaming.
the internet,
Yes.
and all that other stuff. So they're making all this kind of money. And that's who we go see. We don't go see the movie producer or the studio head. We go to see the actors.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what draws the movie public out there to go see these movies.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I believe, man, our movies are getting ready to come back. There's going to be more production now. The writers are going to be back. They're going to be back doing some great things as well.
I just did a Tuesday night. They had a movie premiere at the Westin Hotel for the Marvels. That new, I'm not a big Marvel fan guy. That's not the kind of movies I go see, Spider-Man and Hulk and all that stuff. But
Right.
I went to a premiere on Tuesday night. Very successful. It was they had turned the 6th to the 7th floor of the parking garage into this red carpet event with all these lights and
Wow.
blinking lights and overlooking, of course, the Sphere. And the Sphere had the Marvel thing on it, and it was like, wow, how awesome was it? And it was cool. It was a cool night.
Yeah, I'm a Marvel guy. You know, I'm all into it. I watch all of that.
They say it was a good film.
Yeah, I watch all of it. I watch every bit of those Marvel. I watch Superman. I watch Spider-Man. I watch all of those, man, because they are just so much fun. Oh, Big John, you need to say something back there, Big John.
What's
Big
John?
John?
Hey, I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but the director of the Marvels is the youngest Black woman to ever direct a film.
Really?
I had no idea. Is this movie that's just coming out now?
Yeah, the Marvels.
Because I did that premiere Tuesday night. I didn't know that at all.
She broke the ceiling, huh?
Yeah, she did.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
How young? Do we know? Is she?
She's in her 20s, man.
Oh, no
Good
shit.
for her.
Yeah.
Once again, been able to use her creativity, to use her mind, man, to really bring forth some good stuff.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
right.
And
One more thing.
go ahead.
One more thing. I think regarding the strike, I think they did it right. They let the writers get a head start so that by the time the actors settled, they'd have something to perform in.
Yes, I
Well,
agree.
Well, you know, it was 118 days
Yeah.
for the actors, to 4 months, just about.
Yeah.
And that was a long time.
And how did they have money? Here's what I ask: did they have money for these actors and the folks, the writers, and everyone, for them to be we call a strike fund?
Well,
Yeah, the unions did.
The unions had
Yeah.
strike
The
fund.
unions did, and they were paying them.
and some actors, some of the bigger actors like George Clooney, I heard they all together donated like $100 million. Yeah.
Good.
So they could have gone on strike and been able to do it, or the culinary union too. They had money backing them up.
Good
too.
for them, man. Good for them. That's smart thinking. You should always do that. And I think the UAW, I think they're getting ready to come to an agreement also. And folks, you got to realize and understand, we're coming to the end of the year. It's that last quarter. And that last quarter going into 2024, they want to see those numbers, your stockholders, your owners, the CEOs, the COO, all of those folks want to see that money, man, and make sure that that money, man, and you're making profits, man, for that company.
You know, today's what's the minimum wage today in America? Is it gone up at all? Is it like what?
Minimum wage
10,
is
12
I think it's
bucks?
around 12,
It depends on where you're at. Each state's different.
12 to
Right.
15.
Yeah, I think 15 is the federal. You know, if you're a federal
Right.
employee, 15. But dude,
You can't live on that shit, right?
No.
You know,
Even
No.
in California, it's like 20 an hour.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore. You can't live if you're thinking $20 an hour. You know, that's maybe 10-hour day workday, $200 before taxes.
Right.
Okay, I mean 800 to 1,000 a week. I think most of us can be okay with that. But still, people in the like the
Wait,
restaurant
wait.
business.
How much of that 800 or 1,000 do you get to keep every week?
Right, they probably take 150 to 200 in taxes. So now
Okay,
you're
so then
700,
Then try to
650.
go rent someplace to live.
Right. You're talking
Yeah.
living on less than 3,000 a month. It's just in today's world, you can't. Everybody needs to be making $1,000 a week.
Well, the thing about
I think
it,
that would be appropriate for
the thing about it to me is that once again, everybody talks about, well, we're going to get an increase, right? And I've always been told the more you make, the more that they take.
Right.
So you're not going to bring home more. And also, how many hours are you going to get in during the week? Are they going to cut your hours back if you get $20 an hour or $25 an hour? Are they going to cut your hours back? Because that's what a lot of these companies do. They'll cut back the hours that you have. And once again, if you don't get 32 hours or 33 hours,
they don't have to pay you benefits.
They don't have to pay you benefits.
Now they might give you a higher hourly rate, but then they cut the hours.
That's right.
So, and then everything else is going up: food, rent, gas.
That's right.
We can't. I never wanted just to survive. I wanted more than that.
Sure.
I think we all want more than just to survive.
Yeah.
We want to be able to do stuff, go on a vacation once or twice a year, and be able to afford some of the material things that help you get through life without feeling like you're a bum or nothing.
Well, just like with Social Security, I was, reading up on Social Security and this year and how it's going to be, 3.2, added on to our COLA and that whole deal. That might be maybe $50 that they're going to, add on to it. $50 will be gone if you go and buy a couple of gallons of milk.
Yeah.
Right.
Or a tank of gas.
Or
a
a tank of gas. Yeah. And so for us that are on Social Security, we're not going to get that much of an increase. Once again, they're saying we're trying to hold on to Social Security as long as we possibly can. It's supposed to be gone by 2033, 2035, somewhere in that area.
They can't wait another 10 after that. I'm still a few years shy.
Well, there's more people, man, that are getting Social Security than the money that's going into Social Security. I agree. I agree with you, John, that we did. But what
I've been paying into Social Security. This is no bullshit. Over 60 years.
Right. And what do you get for it, though? What do you get for it? Nothing really.
60 years. But here's my problem. Gang, is when you tax me on my Social Security, when you tax me on my retirement, I've already paid into the government each time, right?
And been taxed each time before that.
And so then at the end of the year, if you don't have enough things to write off, you get taxed again. So I understand this is America, and I understand that everyone, man, wants to live here in America because of what we have and how powerful we are and all those things. But from the inside out, people aren't doing that well.
Right.
At all.
Eat the rich.
When you look at, man, the homeless that are out there, man, on the streets, a lot of those folks were folks that own businesses.
Right.
They owned businesses and they lost those businesses, especially during COVID.
Right.
And so now you got a lot of business people, executives that are on the street right now who can't make it.
And again, speaking of the homeless today, just driving around downtown or doing my errands, and you just see them everywhere now. It used to be just in a segregated area, but now it doesn't matter where you live now. You'll see somebody out on the street sitting in a corner. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It really is.
Well, what's next?
Well, the thing about it is this. I love the weather right now. I think the weather is awful nice right now. I can go out and take me a good walk. It's been, the summer was so hot. I beg for these times, don't you? Right. These times of the year, I'm like, man, I can go out, man, and just walk around and not sweat. My skin is stinging because the sun is so intense, 113 degrees. I love this time.
And we only get it for like 3 months, maybe 4.
I know.
But I know it's mid 60s now, high 60s. The lows are going to be heading in the mid 40s now at night.
Yeah.
Which is Colorado weather.
Right.
Much.
Exactly. This is football weather.
Yes,
speaking of football, your Raiders, I like them. They're playing pretty well, man. They came out and played well the other night.
Coming from you, that's a compliment. Being a former Bronco.
Well, I was with Fred Bolitnikoff the other night. Fred Bolitnikoff and a bunch of guys at his foundation party. raising money for their foundation. And I don't have an issue with the Raiders at all.
How
I
are
really
they
don't.
feeling about it? Those guys that played when you guys were back then, how do they feel
Well,
about it?
they had the same talk like I had with the guys back when I went. It's unacceptable. We set a standard. We set a standard for our team to play well and win championships. And when you start losing games, man, to teams that you should beat, and then you beat teams that you shouldn't beat, there's something wrong. You gotta step up to the plate, and you guys got to go out there and play like every day is your last game.
Well, they're going back to the old days.
Right.
O'Donnell, man, just throwing it deep.
Right.
And they're catching the balls. They're diving,
Right.
knowing they're going to hit that. Like you said, the spirit. They were pumped.
Yeah.
The energy was there, and I would expect that after what they've been through. Usually, when something like that happens, and the coach gets fired or the GM, now they're pumped up. They're ready to move. I just hope it carries through the rest of the way, because they've already lost 5 games, and
Right.
you know how that is. Playoffs are maybe 10-7 might get you in if you can continue that way, but they got a hell of a schedule to go through.
Well, they do, and they're capable, and they got a good football team. Josh Jacobs, man, I like the way he runs.
That guy,
He runs with a
won't
purpose and a
yes,
reason.
Yes,
Devontae Adams, once again,
He
he's
was-
playing like who did it and don't care to know why. Then Max Crosby, I love him.
He's a
I love his
beast.
energy. I love the way he just loves the game and wants to play, and he wants to just rip your head off and get sacks.
I wanted to go back to Devontae Adams. There was a difference. He only caught a couple balls, but he was happier. He was more of a teammate. It wasn't the ball didn't have to go to him every time.
That's right.
He just they felt good, and he was happier with the way things went. Hunter Renfrow, oh my God, he showed up. They
Yes.
finally, he's
Yeah.
getting him involved.
Yeah, and they love Antonio Pierce.
Right.
They love the way that they said they were hitting in practice. I was talking with some of the guys, and I was talking with George Atkinson. George said, for once, man, they were hitting. They were out there, man, hitting each other, man, wrapping each other up, bumping each other around. He says, Rick, that's the way you practice. That's why you prepare that way that week for that game. Going out, man, and being physical with one another, because it carries over to game time.
And they have 8 interceptions on the season.
Yeah.
It's number 1 right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we're hearing some, and again, we both have something in common as our teams and stuff, I guess. Josh McDaniels. I just don't know. There's stuff coming out now from old Denver Bronco players back in the day, 2009, 2010, when he was there, Josh McDaniels, up stories that are very similar to what was going on with the Raiders the last year.
Yes. Well, again, a leopard can't change the spots, right? You are who you are. And the thing about Josh, I think Josh tried too much, man, to try and be like Bill Belichick.
Correct.
And that's not his personality. And he's not a head coach. Head coach, man, you have to have a certain attitude. You have to have a certain that about you. And he doesn't have that certain that about you, where the players, I think, in the locker room don't respect him.
Right. Now, with him, great offensive coordinator. There's been another couple of coaches over the years that were great offensive coordinators that got head coaching jobs that just didn't pan out. I don't know what that difference is, because once you get to a head coach, now you're delegating the authority, and you have the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and all the other coaches.
Right.
So somehow maybe he felt, almost lost in a way, because he wasn't the actual giving the plays and all this other stuff. He had to be in charge of everything now.
Exactly. Well, once again, to me, I feel that if you're respected, if I'm one of those players, and I come in and I say, man, I respect that coach, I'm gonna listen to everything that he says, and I'm gonna do everything that he wants me to do. Hey, I'm going to go out there and play for him. I'm gonna run through a wall. I'm gonna do all the things I need to do.
Well, I guess John's going like this. I think it means break.
Oh, we're taking a break right now?
I want to come back and talk about Mark Davis's new haircut.
Did you? I saw it.
Yeah. We'll be right back, Ben.
All right.
Most business owners struggle with the following issue. How do I brand my business to get noticed? Double 8 Design Studio helps businesses by designing brands that boost confidence, look and feel timeless, stand out from the competition, and attract all the right clients. Whether you are in need of a new brand, upgraded design elements, or completely redesign your current brand, Double Eight Design Studio has fully customized packages for your business. Call Chelsea McKendrick at 702-525-3334 and visit www.double8designstudio.com. Let Double Eight Design Studio give you a brand new outlook for your business.
Oh boy.
Oh, we're back.
We're looking at the Batman.
The Batman.
Are you sure that's
Burgess
not Aaron?
Meredith. He was the doggone. He was
The Penguin.
the Penguin. Yeah. And I think our big guy, right? The voice. I think he would love to see this.
You'll have to send it to him.
Yeah.
That looks like him.
Oh, it does.
Him and Adam West are almost identical.
Absolutely. I hope you're listening, Aaron.
I think that's him signing autographs.
That's right. I think that's him.
funny.
Huh?
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Well, we're back. We were just going to discuss Mark Davis from the Raiders, his haircut. Did you see that?
I did. I saw it Friday night when I went to Fred's
And he
foundation
was there.
party.
That's right.
Yeah, he was there with all the guys, and I looked over and I'm like, my wife said, "Look, he changed his hair. He says his bangs are gone." I said, "Yeah, they're gone." I said, "Once again, remember, he's a 2-time champion with the who?
Aces.
With the Aces.
That's right.
And so he said, I got to change my look, baby."
He's championship of the Aces, and now he's got the Raiders, and hopefully he can transfer some of those winning ways from the Aces over to the Raiders here.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing that I don't know how you feel about. I wonder how he felt really. Is Garoppolo getting benched? He had to know it was coming.
Well, Garoppolo,
And he's hurt.
Remember, I told you, I said at the beginning of the season, folks, I told everyone, I says, look, Garoppolo, I didn't like him when he was in New England.
Right.
I didn't like him when he was with San Francisco. The only reason is that he cannot stay healthy. Once you put pressure on him, you start putting pressure on him, he is not a very good quarterback. And when you start putting licks on him, he's subject to get injured. He's that type of a guy. He's not very durable.
Pretty much every game so far this year he's played, he's been hurt.
That's right.
Even if it was just a brief couple of downs, sitting down or coming back in.
That's right.
Always something.
That's right. And they
Yeah.
pay him a lot of money. They pay him a lot of money to be hurt. That's for sure. And that's why, man, I would have never taken Jimmy Garoppolo at all. Period. He's a backup quarterback at best, but he's not a starter.
Right. Now, going back to Josh, do you think there's been some rumblings, do you think he'll ever be a head coach again? Or do you think it might take a few years to soften up? I mean, he's not financially, it's no big deal. You got $40 million from the Raiders to leave. God, I wish my job would do that.
Yeah.
God, hell, $1 million.
Merry
So-
Christmas.
So was right. So what's he going to do now? Is he out of football? Is he going to go into
No,
commentating? or
maybe college. Lane Kiffin, he's down at Ole
that
Miss.
kind of thing?
He did that, and said, hey, I'm going to be pretty successful. And they're doing well. They got a big game this week, man, against Georgia.
Rough.
And
That's gonna be tough.
but again, I think he's an offensive coordinator. I don't think
Right.
I don't think he's a head coach material. I think he's an offensive coordinator. He can coordinate the offense or defense or whatever he does best. That's where he fits in.
Now, do you think head coaching in college used to be a little different because you had control of these players? These players weren't making any money and they were fighting hard to get through college to go into the pros.
Mhm.
Now college players are getting paid now. Do you think the coaching now in college ranks will be a little different now? The players will, I don't need it. I just signed a deal with Nike for $2 million. I mean, how do you think that's going to affect head coaches in college? Do you think they still have the upper hand?
I think the coaches like Jim Harbaugh, the coach down at Ohio State, I think some of these coaches like down at Alabama, those type of coaches that are established, I think they have more respect from the young guys than if it's a young coach just coming in.
Right.
And, the young kids, man, will probably say, man, we don't have to listen to him. He's younger than us. We make more money than him. But I think with the Lou Sabans and all of those type of guys, I
More
think the kids
respected
will respect them. Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll see about that, how it's going to be going on next week. So Raiders play here
Mhm.
on Sunday night, the Jets.
Mhm.
How do you think that's going to go? You think that
Let me
the
tell you,
Jets
the
going to
Jets,
carry
once
over?
again, the Jets have a
They
great
look good.
a great defensive team.
They do. my
Their
God.
offense, man, is horrible. Their quarterback is young kid. Once you start putting pressure on him, he's not very good. I looked at. I think the Raiders, the second half, I think they're going to play some good football. Just like I think
They're
with the
gonna have
Denver
to.
Broncos, I think they're going to play good football
Well,
the
they
second
woke
half
up.
as well. Yeah, they woke up. as well. But we go to Buffalo Monday night.
Oh,
We
that's
go to
right.
Buffalo, and we'll see how all that works against a very good football team.
Whew, that's going to be a tough one for you guys. I mean, the weather won't be a factor because he plays in that kind of weather.
Yeah, and you got Von Miller that you're going to be playing against.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to prove a point. He's coming back from injury. So, yeah, that should be an interesting game with the Broncos as well, going there. That was always a tough place to play.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
Can't imagine.
Going
I know
back
the Raiders.
going back east and playing the Buffalo Bills, I hated it. Those are hardworking people. They drink their beer. They're out there, man.
Right.
Got their brats and their steaks,
Right.
their tomahawk steaks, man. This is a time off of work. These guys are out there partying right out there, man, for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, those guys should be 30 below zero, raging snowstorm, and some guys got their shirt off. Buffalo BUFF. You'll see where the letters all mixed up because they're all drunk. They don't care.
No.
It's 20 below zero. They're all, they don't care about that.
Yeah, they've worked hard all week. They're the hard-working folks up there, put it in that 9 to 5. So, that should be a good game Monday night, and we'll see how it works out.
Now, switching gears back kind of towards the Formula One. You and I were discussing outside. I'm not a big race guy, so it doesn't really matter to me. I know that this town, they've signed a 10-year deal with this. Right. Have you driven around town down there?
No, I have not. I refuse.
You got to stay away. I have no choice. I'll be at the Sphere for F1 next weekend. I won't be there for the race, but I'll be there this coming weekend, all 3 days there at this track where they've built it. And the only part of the track that goes through private property is the Sphere. So, when they built this bridge off of Flamingo going over Koval, because they're going over the track, and this bridge crosses over and comes down by the Weston. I don't know if you guys have been driving around, John, over there on that side of town.
No.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
I'm smarter than that.
Right. So they're redoing this whole town for this, and a lot of the locals aren't happy.
Right.
This is more of a wealthy man's type of experience and entertainment.
Right.
The Grand Prix, they're all over the world. This is the first time it's going to be here.
That's right.
One of the race car drivers said something about the track, that it was all show and not really a track, it's mainly for show because it's going down the strip and stuff. Okay. I don't see him do 200 miles an hour down the strip. I just can't see it.
Right. Well, once again, it's a short strip, right? They can't open it up for sure. But I watched it just this past weekend. I watched it. I think it was in France or somewhere like that. And I was just interested.
Yeah, you got to take a peek
in Formula One. And I mean, for me, I'm not a Formula One guy. I'm a drag race. I'm NHR.
Oh, really? More of the
I'm drag racing. Yeah, I like the drag racing. But for a lot of folks, man, this is what they like. This is what they enjoy is Formula One. You got folks coming from all over the world. You got Sultans, you got Prince, you got Queens, you got multi-millionaires, billionaires that are going to be here in Las Vegas, man. And let me tell you something. I think financially, this is going to be huge, man, for Vegas. I think it's going to be a lot of money that's going to be poured here into Las Vegas.
There is, but did you see some of the hotels? The rooms aren't sold out yet. They're getting concerned, so they're dropping like 80%. Yeah, which is still a pretty penny but it's way lower than you thought. They'll eventually, I think, you got another week, still.
Well, them prices, man. Let me tell you, I'm glad that they dropped them.
Yeah,
my goodness, man. I mean, folks, man.
$10,000 a night.
Yeah, and for me, it's about volume at this point in time.
Sure.
If I can get all of the rooms occupied, and I got about 1,500 of them, 2,000 of them.
And they're all going to be you can make it up at the casino when they go to the casino.
There you go, and you fill them bad boys up, man. That's the way to go, big dog.
150,000 people coming into town.
Yeah,
just for that one weekend.
God. Yeah.
And then we got the Super Bowl in February.
Yeah, the Super Bowl in February is going to be. I think that's even going to be bigger. I think folks might even stay here. They might rent out, man, an Airbnb and stay and continue, man, until the Super Bowl. You got Snoop Dogg, you got Shaq, you got all of this people and all this money that's going to be here for the Super Bowl, man. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get in where I work, I had to fill out the credential sheet to get
Mhm.
credentials, and so we'll see what happens. I actually want to stay home for the game, but
Yeah.
I figured Super Bowl. How often do you get to go? So
Yeah.
if I get to go to it, I'll go.
Yeah.
But just to say that I did it.
Well, I'm on
But,
the welcoming committee in that whole deal. I got to
well,
go.
welcome me
I
in.
welcome you in, but I got to go and do some training here next week.
Oh, isn't Patrick on it too? Patrick, our beloved Patrick. Yeah, Frazee?
Yeah, I believe so. And
Is that the same committee?
yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be on that committee and welcoming people here to Las Vegas, show them where they need to go and the popular places to go and those type of things. So I'm gonna be down on Fremont Street. I'm not gonna be down.
Oh, okay.
On
You're
the
probably
strip.
way better off down there.
I'll
Anyway.
give you a bunch of my cards.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I got a bunch of them too. I'm gonna be handing them out, networking big time.
That's
big
right,
dog.
right. Speaking of that, when you saw Fred the other night, what did he say about coming in? Is he?
Oh,
down the road?
Fred said he wants to he won't come in, but what we
Zoom
can
in
do,
or
he
video?
can zoom in or video in.
Okay.
He says he's more than willing to do that. I also have another one, Dennis Smith, a Ring of Famer with the Denver Broncos, a stud, man.
I'm in.
And
I'll
so
take it.
hopefully we can get Dennis on
Yeah.
and talk about what he's doing, where he's at. It's almost like a "Where Are They Now" segment,
Right.
where
Right.
folks, man, can hear about some of the
Right.
great players
What
that
they're
we had the
doing.
opportunity. Yeah,
Right. That's
Yeah.
great, man. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, heck yeah.
All right. What else do we got going on?
Man, we got a lot of stuff going on, man.
That's
School, man, is really doing well. I believe they come to a contract, right? Have
The
they come-
teachers?
I believe.
Have they?
come to a contract agreement?
I hadn't heard.
I haven't heard as well. That's stupid to me.
All these strikes happening at the same time, and now they're ending too. But the teachers, for some reason, that
Well, when you talk about politics, you got a gentleman, man, that's in the presidency, man, that loves what? Unions.
right.
And so he's really going after the unions and telling the unions they have to step up to the plate for their people so that they can get paid properly and be that voice for them.
You know what bugs me the most? It's about Las Vegas, Clark County. We're one of the richest cities in the country. And all this F1 going to bring in $500 million. How come how come we can't shove a little over to the teachers and give them a raise and help with school supplies and again, stuff like that? I mean, especially in this town, there's kids here. You can go to UNLV where you can get an education on casino management and all that kind of stuff. Why isn't education at the bottom? I never understood that. It keeps staying at the bottom. We're like 49 or 50, and it's been that way for 20 years.
Well, the thing about it, that's why we ask ourselves a lot of the times, how come we're just 27th and 28th in the world in math and in science? It's because obviously we don't value education. How can you, when in those important areas of someone's life, you're not willing to look at it and say, you know what, we got to do a better job of supporting our teachers,
Right.
and making sure that they're happy. And when they're happy, if I'm happy and I'm out on the football field and I'm getting paid properly,
You're going to play.
I'm going to play.
You're going to work.
Just like with a teacher.
Right.
If you're paying them properly and they got the respect and the respect in the classroom. I was just watching a video, man, where a young girl, man, threw a chair at a teacher. And I'm saying to myself, this is what they're allowing the kids to do? Back in the day with me, folks, if I ever tried any of that,
I can't
there was
imagine.
consequences there at the school and when I went home. So I understand the teachers, man, are going through hell, and the parents should take more care of this than anybody. When their kids go to school, the parents should make sure that their kids are going there to get a good education and not cause problems in the locker in the classroom. I don't care what anybody thinks or says. That's just my opinion.
Well, when you mention parents, if you go back 50, 60 years, and John too with the parents, my parents, I can't imagine seeing them, picture over here, and then today's parents. It's just a whole nother, just by the picture, you're going, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how did we fall so far with society the way it is, that we don't respect teachers, we don't respect cops, we don't respect people in positions of authority? And the parents have to be the ones that need to do this. And another thing that irks me mainly is teachers. spending $50 out of their own pocket to buy pencils and notebooks and stuff like that for their students.
Yeah.
That really bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah, I understand.
Do you want to say something, John?
Yeah, I do. You guys remember we had those teachers in here
Yeah.
sometime back.
Right.
Well, if you remember, one of the things that they were saying is that the kids that are the troublemakers, there's just a few of them. And that's what's making it bad. Is a few, it's not the whole class. There may be one or two out of the class that might be assholes. So it's not fair to say that all the kids today are screwed up or the parents are screwed up. There are some that are, so don't get me wrong there. But, it just, if your teacher is spending all of their time dealing with that, the other kids lose.
Right. They can't teach the kids when you're trying to calm a kid down from throwing a chair at you.
Well, it's like coaching. I coached, man, for over 15 years. And it got to the point to where I don't even want to step out on the field and coach any of these kids anymore.
And
man.
how long ago was that? Because
I coached all the way from 2011 to 2000. Well, I can go all the way back to 2006, where I started my own program called Rare Breed Sports and Leadership Programs. I like doing that instead of doing the actual coaching, of a team and that whole deal. Because once again, when you're talking about the parents don't even get involved. So they have no idea what's going on. And so when you talk to them about what's going on, folks, it makes it awful hard to say, hey, parent, we need your help. We need you to make sure that your child, when they come, that they're ready to go. It's your responsibility, not ours. It's yours.
And, again, today's parenting, it's not about, there is no timeout or in the corner. And today's parents, your child shouldn't be afraid of their parents. Well, there's times when, success, when I was in military school, you discipline and using fear to get something out of you. And it was when I would get threatened by my football coach, grabbing my helmet and throwing me on. I didn't want that to happen to me, so I did everything they asked me to do or told me to do, ordered me to do.
That's right.
You ordered me to do it, you do it. Well, today's parenting, you can't order kids. Yeah, you can. When did it change?
Well, kids,
when? 30 years ago?
Parents want to be friends with their children.
You can't.
They don't want to be disciplinarians. Because once again, I don't want to lose the friendship with my child. Hey, if I'm disciplining you and there's a reason and a purpose behind it, that means that I'm parenting.
Right.
I'm a parent. I'm making sure that you're not going outside the boundaries.
Right.
And I don't have to keep coming up to the school. I don't have to keep dealing with the police. I don't have to come up and deal with the coaches. I know that when you step out the door, I've given you all of the skills to go out and be a good person in the community.
Right. That really irks me too, but especially with women, the mother, 40-year-old mother, and the daughter's 20. We're best friends. And they're at a bar getting drunk. And I'm like, that's not the job of a parent. You're not their friend.
Not at all.
Not at all. To be a parent, to discipline is teaching your life's lessons. So when you go out there on your own, you'll be somewhat prepared.
But then when you do discipline and you haven't done it, now all of a sudden you're mean. You're being abusive to me.
In today's world, that's what they say.
That's what they say, right? You're being abusive to me now. You raised your voice at me. Well, man, let me tell you, if you'd have been back in my day, my grandfather and grandmother would have killed you behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They would have been in jail because they're not going to take the stuff that you're doing and saying to the teachers or to the coaches. They won't take it. They wouldn't take it. I don't.
I remember once my mom, and again, we didn't have, well, you go give me that switch off of that tree. Don't give me no small one because I'll beat your ass even more.
Yeah.
It better be a big one.
Yeah.
And you're going towards the tree.
Now remember, they gave us 3 strikes too. It wasn't like, well, man, you did it one time and I'm going to beat you up and rough you up. No, you got 3 strikes, and you say, hey, don't do it again. Parents, step up to the plate, man. Disciplinarian. There's nothing wrong with disciplining your children. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Right. And that's learning young. When you have a 6-year-old, 5-year-old, little Georgie, don't stick your hand in that cookie jar a 3rd time. And kids, they want to test. They want to see how far they can go.
Yeah.
And then if you're, as a parent, you've got to keep your promise too in that.
That's
The
right.
third time,
That's right.
and then if it happens 3, 4, 5, nothing happens. Oh, she's not going to do nothing.
That's right, George.
You have to
Absolutely
keep
right.
the promise that you made to them.
You're absolutely right. Otherwise, they don't respect you.
Right. At all.
Mom and dad's not going to do
They
anything.
don't care.
Yeah. Oh, hey, my grandparents said, "Hey, look, I'm telling you right now, you're on a month. You're month man behind the doors. You cannot go outside." And it was a month and 1 day.
Right. And you're like, man, after 2 weeks, come on, I've learned my lesson. No, because if they broke their promise or broke the rule, broke the disciplinary action, then you knew that you might be able to get away with it some other time.
Right. And today, the big thing to do, man, is to take their phone. If you take their phone and put them on disciplinary and type of stint, that you'll get their attention real quick.
In fact,
No, let him have the phone. Take the charger.
Oh, they'll have
Right.
the phone, take the charger. Okay.
well, you know,
yeah, we can do that.
I think that's why the kid threw the chair at the teacher, because she took the phone.
Yeah.
That'll get you killed nowadays, taking someone's cell phone.
Isn't that something?
Wow. All right, we'll be right back. We're going to go on a break, and we'll come back and talk about some more stuff.
Absolutely.
How unique.
It's gorgeous.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've got to have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Boy, we're just looking at gold toilets. A
Yeah.
$6 million gold toilet was
Yeah.
stolen.
A crime worthy of Sherlock Holmes himself has been solved as the British police have charged 4 men in the relations to the theft of a golden toilet from a museum. And that toilet was worth $6 million. $6 million where you can go take a poop.
Can you imagine
So
that?
come on,
Do you have
man.
to clean that toilet? I wonder if does gold need to be.
Can you
Right.
can you imagine? For me,
I'm sure
I
there's
just
some rich people
want
that have it.
porcelain.
Yeah, I'm easy with the toilet.
I'd settle for the seat.
I'll set it for the seat as well.
You can keep the toilet.
The handle's worth probably $100 grand. No, my toilet cost me a couple $100. Fuck, that was enough.
I'm telling you, man. Look at this. I mean, it was created by an Italian artist, and once again, the plumbing is right. All the plumbing was good, but folks, tell me, man, $6 million for a pooper, and you just sit on it, man, and you sit there, man, look at your phone, read the paper or
What if it
whatever, and
keeps you
that'll do what
warm?
you got to do.
What if it has a heater on it? It keeps you warm.
I would probably.
What
I mean,
if it has a debate on it?
I'm
Gold debate.
looking at it. It looks like it'll do a little bit of everything.
Right.
But I'm just saying, $6 million pooper, John.
You know what I would do?
What do you think of that, man?
If I was that rich, I'd have a $6 million toilet at a party, and I'd have all I'd have the drinks. You have a ladle, and you just put your drink in the. It would be like a,
Yeah, well, I'm like this. Is that a write-off?
right.
They better keep
It
an
better
eye
be.
out on that, or it'll end up at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well,
I'm
hey,
sure it's been
there's
there.
rich folks that have gold toilet. I think the Fertittas have a gold toilet. I think I heard a story about the Station Casino owners having a gold toilet.
My goodness, man. That's just too much. Well,
It is.
it's
I mean-
too much money. But I could think of better things to do it. If I had $6 million, I would go build a facility, man, and where I can keep kids off the streets, or for homeless people or something of that nature, that's going to benefit somebody. But this, where I can go and tell you to go take a crap, and you walk in and you say, "Oh my gosh, is that real gold?" Yes, it is. How much is it worth? $6 million. I'd be afraid to sit on it.
Me too. I mean, what the toilet paper is? It silk, satin, the toilet paper?
Yeah, velvet or something.
a $500 roll of toilet paper. Woohoo!
Oh my gosh, man! Huh? Oh my goodness!
Oh, we're going to shit again, aren't we? The round table.
Yes, we are.
Oh, speaking, I'm not going to say. This is not a right segue, but I was looking through the story here, and we are health and wellness, somewhat of a show we talk about, but Bruce Willis, his daughter Tallulah details his really aggressive and very rare dementia. It's really moving really, really fast. I don't know if you guys have seen it, and it breaks my heart because I actually worked for Bruce Willis a little bit back in the early day. He owned Planet Hollywood with
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly Stallone.
Right.
And I was a bartender here at Caesar's Palace when they had the restaurant there.
Mhm.
And he used to come in there all the time. He was such a fun, loving guy, always in a good mood.
Right.
Just a regular Joe. He was a bartender.
Yeah.
And now you see him, and it's just, it reminds me now that we're all getting older, and we all get something.
Yes, we are.
We're all getting
older.
if you live long enough, you always end up with something.
Yes.
So it just kind of bugs to see me like, the Die Hard, and this guy is, slowly, we're slowly losing him.
Yeah, that's why when I wake up every morning, I just say I'm thankful. I'm thankful I can still smell, I can
Right.
still taste.
Still
I don't
walk.
take that stuff for granted.
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
Because I've seen people, man, have had all of their faculties, right? And then all of a sudden they lose them. And so I'm really humble to that. I just tell people, man, be gracious, man, that you can smell and you can taste, you can hear, you can see, you can do all the things, man, that you went to bed with. And when you wake up in the morning,
Still
that
got
you're
it.
grateful and thankful, man. Yeah.
Now, I'm reading an article on Jim Kelly. He's had some health issues. over
Yeah,
the
he had
years.
jaw cancer.
Yeah, he's been really messed up. He's got hearing aids now, dentures, and he just had a lot of health issues. And he got baptized. Not like your traditional. Well, I got baptized when I was a baby, but he
Somebody just threw water on you.
yeah,
That
it's
was
just-
all that was, man.
it started all of a
nobody dunked you in any water.
all of a
That's
sudden
for
starts
sure.
burning. But no, I guess he went through all the stuff he's been through, and he lost his son,
Mhm.
and he's got baptized again as an adult, and now he's his wife stuck by him through all those years and everything that
Good for
he's
him.
and man, he just looks like a former shell of himself, man. It's just amazing, and we're the same age.
Yeah. When I saw him. I represented the Denver Broncos at the draft back in 2016, 15, I think it was. I was in Chicago, and Jim was there. And once again, you could see where they had taken part of his jaw because once again he had that he chewed,
Right.
and that whole deal, and that
Oh.
cancer got in there, and
Yeah.
he had jaw cancer.
Wow.
And so, it's tough. It's really tough when you see a guy that was just absolutely outstanding quarterback
Yeah.
in the National Football League, folks. And now, he just a shell of himself, like you said, Big Dog. And it's hard. It really is. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
All
Hey,
these
you know what time it is?
America speaks.
Who speaks?
Who
I
speaks?
think it's about time, don't you?
I guess so. We can go-
America speaks.
Let's do it. Let's do
America, speak to us.
Speak
we
to
need
what?
to hear your opinion.
it. That's right.
Let us know what's up.
America speaks.
That voice sounded familiar. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to America Speaks on the Roundtable Show. This is where you, America, get to say what you want to say, and we listen to you.
And we make fun of you.
Yes, we do. That's what we do. We make fun of you, and we become we just laugh in between about us about all the stuff that you guys say. And here we go with one. I thought this might be fun. Seinfeld star. Remember Michael Richards, Kramer?
I do.
He had an issue, I guess, back in 2006, he was doing a comedy set, and he was having some hecklers going on, and he said a few things he shouldn't have, and it kind of ruined his career.
Don't we all?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was like 17 years ago, and that's about, you would think maybe the woke culture started back then. But
What
Michael
is woke culture?
again,
I'm just asking.
I still don't even know the definition. Woke culture, today's world where you get offended by everything.
That means you get woke by
Yeah.
of something of issues.
Yeah,
or things that
something
go
that wakes you up. Oh, that's not. You shouldn't be saying that.
Oh, okay.
And comedians, there shouldn't be any cancel culture towards comedians.
Okay.
There shouldn't be. Yeah, they cross the line. That envelope is real. They say a lot of crazy stuff.
Have
but
a sense of humor.
Yeah, even if you don't like it, it's just it's something about comics say stuff. They talk about life. George Carlin, Red Fox, all these guys would say funny stuff, and we're laughing.
Yeah.
I remember back in the 80s, you go see Eddie Murphy in concert, you'd
Right.
have a black guy,
Sure.
a lesbian, a white guy, and a gay man, and he would cap on all of us, and we're ribbing each other. He's right. He's right. Nowadays,
I agree.
you threaten the comic that you're going to kill him because he said something you didn't like.
But everything is so political.
Slap him.
But everything is so politically correct today now. Everything's got to be. It's a thin line between love and hate, man. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to be very careful. It's a razor's edge. That's what I call it.
The razor's edge.
Yes.
You're right, man, because they can slice you apart if you. But yeah, Richards was he was discussing his night doing comedy in 2006. He shouted some racial slurs to a couple hecklers, and he had to go out of public life and disappear for a while.
Okay.
So I didn't know he was 74. Michael Richards, he was so funny.
Mhm.
He wrote a book on his life. So I wanted to read some of the comments about what people think, because Michael Richards is a beloved comic.
Right.
He's been around a long time, and I'm sure there's going to be some detractors, but let's see what they have to say. And
We love detractors, right?
that's right.
We like those guys.
Here we go. Tap 62. I won't read the book, but he was funny on Seinfeld. They all were. Okay. Here's a guy. What? That's his handle. What? Like 10 A's. Everybody has worse moments. All of us don't have a platform to showcase them. Love his comedy.
Yeah.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
He just happens to have a platform like we do, and sometimes we say stuff. So far, we've been pretty good about it over here.
Sure.
But sometimes you're going to say stuff that offends someone, and I refuse to apologize for anything like that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
It's just not. How about this? Poo stools on my nadler.
Who?
Poo stools on my nadler. Sounds
Okay.
like something nasty.
Okay.
Richard should be commended for putting the nappy-headed heckler schmoes in their place. Well, okay. So much for that. We understand that one. All right. JG123. Heard there's a Seinfeld reunion in the offering. Guess it's time to ramp up the PR machine. Do you know those guys get like 5 to 10 million a year for as long as that show is played, wherever it's going to be played?
Sure. Residual income.
My God,
Yeah.
$5-10 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We're in the wrong business.
Maybe
know?
we can get in syndication, John.
I'll give you my card.
All right. The more truthful truth. I really hated seeing Richards get canceled. His success was way better than most of the people on the show. I always thought he was my favorite.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Very comical. He kept everybody on edge.
I always thought Jerry Seinfeld was the more dry, even though it was his show. He had the dry humor, but he would set up the other three
That's right.
for their moments.
I agree.
All right. How about this one? Mitch Hennessy. How much you want to bet that when his book comes out, so will the haters? Cancel culture will accept no penance and give no forgiveness. They just want to hopefully find a way to cause his efforts to fail.
Well, once again, success. Everybody don't like your success, right? Remember, jealousy, man, is a huge thing in our society because they see you, man, making it and making people happy, fun. They don't like it. There's a lot of folks that don't like it. They're like, who do you think you are, man? Where you think you can, man, bring some happiness and bring fun into someone's life.
I never understood that. It's like in my job, it's very cutthroat. Management, you make it to management, and then there's people behind you that smile, and I'm kind of naive in that way. When somebody smiles and we joke and we laugh, and then a couple of weeks later, I heard they said something about me, and I'm thinking it hurts kind of because, well, wait a second. I thought we were friends, and you don't even have to be friends, but good coworkers even. So it's hard to trust anybody now.
That's true. That's true. That's very true, bro.
All right, here's a guy named Jinx Man. I still don't see what he did wrong. It was part of his act, just like it was part of Eddie Murphy's act to stereotype and degrade Italians, right?
But again, people don't have a sense of humor. Remember, guys, everybody's on edge now politically. Politically, man, that's why I don't like politics, because now when you bring that in, that's like bringing in the swamp, and now all it does is pollute everything that you're trying to do that's supposed to be good.
Right. And I think that's a bad rap for politicians too. Just the fact when I ran for president as a joke in 2016, some people thought it was great. And some
Mr.
people,
President?
yeah,
Yes, sir.
then it was like, what are you doing that for, man? I hate politicians. So right off the bat, some politicians, just the word politics gets people riled up.
Sure does.
Just the word.
Sure.
And like you said, it's hard to discuss it anymore. But again, that's been around forever, John. I don't know if you ever heard that when you were a kid, 60 years ago, 50 years ago, my parents would say, don't discuss religion, politics, or social
That's right.
issues in mixed company.
That's right.
And when they said mixed company, I never understood what they meant. Well, you didn't know you can be friends with everybody. And then as soon as you find out what their politics are, somehow shit hits the fan.
It's the fan.
Friendships go away.
That's right.
That kind of thing.
That's right.
All right. Where do white women at? This is what the guy, that's his handle.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Where do white women at? But he should not be defined by that one moment. True.
That's
And
right.
he wouldn't have been before the internet and social media. Unfortunately for him, those things existed at the time of his outburst. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Facebook and all these social media
Medias.
sites. As soon as you put something on there, it's recorded forever. You know what bothers me the most? If you said something 20 years ago,
Mhm.
when the internet was around,
Mhm.
all of a sudden you make it big and famous, and then there's somebody out there. There's always somebody willing to dig up some dirt.
Of course.
Where do they find this stuff? It could have been some offbeat magazine that doesn't exist anymore, but
That's
it's still online somewhere.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, you have, like you said, you have different magazines out there. In order for them to be heard, they have to put something out there that's trashy.
Right.
And something, man, that's going to raise the eyebrows of folks, right? That's how they get their name out there.
Right.
And so if I can throw some mud on a guy that's pretty popular, everybody's going to do what? They're going to read my magazine
Right.
or listen
And
to
they're
my
gonna- and they're going to
opinion.
know your name.
That's right. Oh,
Little birdies. Okay. Sarah Bone. Sarah Bone. I'm not going to go there. I love Seinfeld, and I'm thankful for the reruns. I have over 100 plus on my DVR. Nothing on TV today remotely as funny. The actors, the timing, the writing, setting all were genius and now forgotten in today's TV sitcoms. We all have bad days and say things we regret, and thankfully most on this conversation aren't in public eye and recorded all live-long day.
Mhm.
Forgive those who have been weak and foolish. We become stronger and wiser.
that's true.
Yep. Okay.
I like it.
Lola, 21. Richard's entrances and antics are classic. When he would walk through the apartment door,
Right. Right.
it was just the way he did it.
Yeah.
Just like Seinfeld, no other sitcom, past, present, or future, will ever be as funny, especially in this current PC culture. Speaking of that, Jerry Seinfeld said this. He's got like a 18 or 19-year-old daughter now. I guess when she was in high school, because comics don't go to colleges anymore because they get reamed when they go on college campus. Oh, you can't say that. That's racist. That's sexist. Even his daughter said, Dad, you couldn't go on the college campus circuit anymore.
Right.
I mean, that's what comics did back in the day.
That's right.
It's how they cut their teeth and
That's
would
right.
use their material
You're
and
absolutely
learn
right.
it.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
they can't go because they'll just get crucified at these college campuses because they're all just, I don't know, whatever they're teaching them there, but you can't say anything controversial anymore. So he said you can't do college campuses anymore with comedy.
Well, these kids are so opinionated today, right? They have their opinions and they stick to their opinions and how they feel. And if your opinion don't line up with theirs, then you're wrong. You're just flat out wrong.
So where would they get it from? Their parents or the teachers? I think it's these professors that teach these classes and social media now.
social media.
Before when I went to school, we didn't have any of that.
No, not at all. That's why our opinions were kept tight. They were
Right.
kept tight
Either
in
at
that
home
classroom or in
right.
Mhm.
That was it.
Yeah.
How about this? Free to choose. It's time for Michael to forgive himself for something that the cancel culture invented. That's a great line.
I agree.
He has withheld too much of his talent with the world at a time when we really need humor the most. That's right, because this last 10 or 15 years, he's been shut out.
Yeah.
And his talent, he can't go out there and do stuff anymore because of that one night in a nightclub.
That's a shame, isn't it? And I mean, that takes away his talent. That takes away his living. That takes away how he brings people together or makes them happy or gives them excitement.
And it makes him happy.
Exactly.
When you're a performer, you want to perform.
That's right.
That's why when some people like Denise, sometimes she'll go, well, he's playing hurt. Why is he playing hurt? It's the love of the game. They want to play the game. That's what they want to do.
That's right, George.
They don't want to sit around at home. Yeah, they're rich and got all this money, but they want to be out there and doing it.
The money has nothing to do with
No,
it, guys.
it's
That's who I am.
yeah,
That's my spirit.
right,
That's what I want to do.
right.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
All right, there's a couple more, and then we're going off the air.
Oh,
we're
wait,
being
are we?
thrown, we're getting thrown off here.
Are we getting thrown off?
The Tempest
I
558.
cut the mics off 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes
shit.
ago, he cut them off.
So
So
we're
we're
just
just talking to
practicing.
ourselves now.
Right. You don't need a decade-long spiritual quest. I say the N-word every Sunday during game day, but I'm reformed by the following Saturday. Except during the basketball playoffs when the games aren't so spaced out.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year on that one.
That was a funny
Who was
one.
that?
His name or their name was the Tempest.
I like the
558.
Tempest. Go on, Tempest. Go on with your bad
That was
self.
funny. Okay, we'll do one more. Jinx 207. Kramer and the other three just had the best comedy I think of all time. His mannerisms and expressions were just timeless. And throw in Larry David in the equation just makes the show #1 in my book. I can watch every episode again and again and again and see little tiny quirky things that you missed the first 7 times you saw it.
There you go.
Can't wait for the book. Who cares if he had a bad stand-up night? Compared to today's verbal tirades, it's barely a PG.
Yeah. You know, we've become too sensitive. We really have. I understand that some things, you know, need to be kept in a box. But man, what has happened, man, to having fun and being able to speak and say some things, man, and people not get so defensive, man.
It's terrible.
It really is.
And when you become defensive, it makes you look guilty or of the same, or you're the same kind of person. You're just not at that moment. I don't know. I'm just so sick of cancel culture. I want everybody to have fun and say what they want to say.
That's right. That's
if
right.
it's mean, it's mean. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But you know what, Big Dog? George, I think we're about to getting ready to go off of here, man.
He called me
You
Big
think
Dog,
Big
man.
Dog? I'm gonna call him Big Dog, man.
All
but
right.
this should. Hey, once again, I hope our big guy, man, the voice is doing well. I hope he listened. I hope he's having a good time back east.
He's probably got his paper. Okay, George said that.
Yeah.
Rick, why'd you do this? Any last thoughts?
He's been sending me texts.
Oh, okay.
Any
Last
last thoughts? Lenny, once again, everyone, man, just needs to settle down, enjoy life. Life is very short, and we just enjoy each and every day when we wake up.
I agree with you. You guys, again, for me, same old thing. Keep your heads above water. We know things are tough out there. Just keep getting up in the morning. Keep doing what you're doing, and be happy. All right, guys. We'll see you all next week. I might be on location. I might be the one that's missing next
You might
week.
be missing
But
next
we
week.
don't know yet for sure. But thanks again, everybody. Rick, I love you, man.
They love
Always
you
good
more,
to see
man.
you.
No doubt
He
about
loves
it.
me more.
Glad to be on this show for sure with you and the voice.
That's it. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you next Thursday, wherever we're at.